Hi, Taurus. This is your home light security reading for the month of August as we go through the Lion's Gate. This is some powerful energy. Um, and this energy is kind of redirecting the next 6 months. So there's a lot to talk about for this month, but right now I'm pulling some cards for you. As I try to see where they're taking it. All right, we'll stop with that. First thing I have to ask you guys, okay, all Taurus signs, sun, moon, rising, and I didn't put my little thing up here describing what it is. So if you are a Taurus sun, I am talking more about your core energy. If you are a Taurus rising, I'm talking more about your three-dimensional energy and the actual physical world. If you are a Taurus moon, I'm getting more into your emotional energy in general. Excuse me. And we are talking about the Lion's Gate. Let me run down what is happening in the astrological energy, and then I'll go back over the chart with you. But you have the Lion's Gate, which is going to take place on the 8th. It is an open portal of higher ascension in energy that is coming in. However, it's already been open, and it will continue to be open after the 8th. But it is it is seriously jump-starting your next 6 months. And this month itself is kind of like, even though the energies have been very vivid and revved up, it's actually kind of like slow motion. And it's going, let's put all of our ducks in a row and let's really take a look at everything so that we can readjust and make sure that we're going the direction we want it to be going in this next 6 months. And it has a lot to do with the new moon at the end of the month. So this energy is going to go right into the Lion's Gate, sweep right into that full moon in Aquarius in opposition of that Lion's Gate, and whip back around into Virgo and then start redirecting. Okay, so it's a very actually feeling fast energy, but in the scheme of things, it's still asking us to slow down and really pay attention. You have the full moon that's going to take place on the 11th, right after the Lion's Gate. Venus is going to move into Leo right on the 11th, the same day as the full moon. Mars enters Gemini on the 20th. The sun will then enter Virgo on the 22nd. Uranus, this is highly important for you all. Uranus is going retrograde in your sign on the 24th, which means in a form, you're already in shadow. Okay? Not just Uranus, but you, because it's in your sign. Okay? And then you'll be in retrograde with it. Then you have Mercury, which is going to be entering Libra on the 25th, and that new moon takes place on the 27th in Virgo. Now, before I give you the cards, Spirit is telling me what you need to be working on is falling back in love with yourself. Enjoy time with yourself and figuring out a more deeper or more raw depth of yourself. And then falling back in love with life. Because of that, this is a big part of what's going to be happening with this Uranus retrograde for you directly. It is going to be definitely dealing with your character and coming to know yourself and your own growth in these areas. Now, with that being said, I am getting cycles of change that is coming up. It's the scarab beetle. And so it is definitely a rebirthing time. But I feel like this is like a butterfly in the cocoon energy. Like you're just going into the cocoon for the molding of transforming from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Even though it's the scarab beetle and it's talking about planetary guardianship, is talking about the spiritual dance of life. But I feel like this energy for you is more like a cocoon of you understanding the shifting change of entering the cocoon. The next thing that is coming out is entering the mystery. I mean, I can't make this shit up. Entering the mystery. It is the dove. It is in Egyptian mythology. It is the mother. And there's several different mother goddesses. It is, and it's just, I'm showing you, it's all the different mothering goddesses. But I feel, like I said before, this is the womb. This is the womb itself, but I feel for you like it's more like you're entering into the cocoon, not the womb of not like a mom who's giving birth and can feel it in the stomach or the gut feeling or that second brain, but you yourself are stepping into the womb, which is what I'm seeing is more like the cocoon. And then coming into the sacred relationship, which is basically exactly what this is. It is coming into the sacred relationship of finding yourself in ways that you've never completely maybe tapped into before. Now, I always start where the sun is, but for the fact have Uranus going retrograde at the end of the month and you're in shadow already, I'm going to start at your first house and work my way all the way around. But technically, you're always walking through wherever the sun is. Now, with that being said, you have Uranus, which is in retrograde, or it will be at the end of the month. It's in shadow right now. But right now, it has Mars here. And Mars is going to move out and move into your second house, mid-month on the 30th? I mean, on the 20th? Yeah, Mars is going to move into your second house on the 20th. But right now, you have Mars, Uranus, which is in shadow, and the North Node. Everything you need to learn in order to move forward, all in your first house, which is speaking to you directly about yourself, your self-awareness, your personality, your appearance, your view, how your mind views the world around you, your physical ideal of the three-dimensional world and higher dimensions, of yourself on the three-dimensional world and higher dimensions. It is your appearance, your view of life, your identification, what identifies you. This is for you, your sun energy. It's what makes you shine at being a Taurus, good or bad. But with Uranus here, this is also asking you, well, can you really, seriously, I need you to tap into some of that independence, some of that individuality, uniqueness, some of that inventive, creative spark of going, ooh, that's this Taurus. Not every other one, this one. What makes you unique about your character? And is it serve you or not? Or addressing how to tweak the character just a little bit. See, because Uranus and Taurus, I'm constantly saying to everybody, I've been saying this for like 3-4 years now. If you're not in your power, someone or something else will be. Because Taurus is also the house of manifestation, the house of law of attraction, the house of money, the house of possessions. And technically, we usually see it as the possessions of things like your crystals, your clothing, your cell phone, little things that make you feel better about being you. The possessions that you carry with you, a woman's purse, that help them be the best them they can be. So this is asking you, well, are you tapping into those character personalities that are independent, that are unique, shows your individuality, that helps you be different from everyone else? Because this is teaching you how to identify with yourself, how to address yourself, how to love yourself, how to accept yourself. and not be the possession of someone or something else, but be the possession of your own self. Uranus is going retrograde, which means independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, individuality is all going to be going directly into your head. It's going to be communicating more inwardly with you, trying to help you cipher deeper parts of yourself than maybe you've ever ciphered before. It's kind of also taking inventory, doing a new checklist. And you're going to be feeling this for like the next 6 months, if not more. I cannot remember how long Uranus will be in retrograde, but it's going to be in retrograde throughout the rest of the year, pretty much. All right. And Mars is here, strengthening this energy even more, the passion, the action, the aggression of coming to figure out who you are. Now, as it moves into your second house, Mars, you also have Athena, the warrior goddess here. So this is going from, let me start to tap into this character, this identity, and let me actually start to sharpen it and give it self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. How can I, Athena, the warrior goddess, which is Pallas, strategically make sure that I am molding myself in this healthy way? This is the questions that is coming in here. But Mars is going to make you also want to aggressively push to receive in this energy. Uranus in retrograde, when you feel challenged and you feel like you're not getting to be that individual and you're feeling like you're not being heard, it's going to make you want to become aggressive and jump in people's face and possibly become belittling and very overly assertive. And that is not necessarily helping you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. It's showing you where it's taking from you. It's showing you where you're afraid that you're not in that power. So the idea here is to learn how to get in that power without having to be manipulative and without having to be pushed to receive. And strategically standing in your power, knowing that you can't be moved, instead of feeling like you have to lash out. And you're going to be acknowledging a lot of this over the next 6 months, but definitely over this month as Mars moves into your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem with Athena, the warrior goddess. But because you have Uranus here in shadow, it is definitely asking you to grow and to acknowledge more of your character and more of your uniqueness and breathe life into it. Now, as you move into your third house, this is Cancer for you. The third house on the universal scale is your inner emotional security. It's the fourth house. But for you, it's your third. This is your communication zone. And you have Lilith here. Venus is about to leave here and enter into Leo. But this is mainly about Lilith. Lilith's still being here. And Lilith is in Cancer, not her strongest pursuit. This is, don't be submissive and allow people to tell you how you feel. Don't be submissive and let them tell you what you think. Use your own mind. Speak your own mind. But make sure that it is your mind. That it is you and your power. Because Lilith here, Lilith usually asks you, what are you burning for? What are you here for? But in the fourth house of Cancer, this is very nurturing energy, wanting to take care of outwardly, wanting to communicate outwardly, things that are helping others. But are you communicating how to help yourself? Are you communicating how to love yourself instead of just how to love everybody else? And how to communicate outwardly. So this is saying don't allow yourself to get pushed up against the wall until you do lash out. This is saying make sure that you aren't being submissive and allowing people to give you the idea and then wishing later that that wasn't really what you thought or felt. And then now I have to go and make changes. Now, when we get into the Lion's Gate, we're moving into your 4th house. This is why I said in the beginning of the video that this has everything to do with, are you falling back in love with you? Are you happy with your you time? See, because the Lion's Gate is happening in your 4th house, but the full moon, the new moon at the end of the month is taking place in your 5th house. So this is all asking you to tap back into that universal energy, not universal, that Uranus energy that is in your core right now, that is in your independence, your uniqueness, your independence, individuality, uniqueness, individuality. And are you tapping into that part of what makes you secure about yourself and liking it and addressing it? See, the 4th house is your roots. It's your child. And the 5th house is also part of your child. It's what made you you. It's the security that can't be taken away, but you can have it under so much dirt and gravel that you can't find it. The inner emotional security is the soul, and knowing that it's there, and knowing that you are uniquely, drivenly beautiful for who and what you are, and that nobody can take that away from you, that secures your higher dimensions. This is where the Lion's Gate energy is right now. This is technically what you're walking through. The sun is here, but you also have Taurus here at the time. And Taurus is not the Sirius star. Taurus is all about nurturing or neglecting. She's the threefold. And she's speaking to you about your inner emotional security, tapping into what strengthens you. By knowing you, by breathing life back into you, by believing in you, and securing you on a higher dimension as well as this one. And the thing is, you're going to have Venus move in right after the Lion's Gate, bringing extra sensitivity in. Venus is not love. I hate it when astrologers say this. Venus is not love. She speaks to you about your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical body. She is telling you when something is good for you. Venus is you helping you be your soul song. Venus, okay, perfect example, like my dreads. My dreads are a part of an extension of me, and they make me feel good about me. And they're here for me and my guides, and that's it. And nobody else needs to care about them. If you like them, great. If you don't, great. Don't care. They're for me. People's cell phones are for them. People's outfits are for them. People's glasses are for them. Women wear their purse, for them. These are all things that help you be you. Your crystals help you be you. Venus is tapping into what supports that in your inner emotional security. But she's also tapping into the lies, the betrayal, the denial. And she will tell you what has lied to you, what has harmed you, what has, belittled you. Because Venus is not love. She tells you what's good for you and why, and she tells you what's bad for you and why. And she is coming into this Leo energy, which is your 4th house of your inner emotional security and tapping into your soul. And she's teaching you where you're doing it good and where you're doing it bad. You have Taurus here going, where are you nurturing yourself in healthy ways? Where are you neglecting it? They're going to double time up right after that right after Venus moves in and the Lion Gate has happened. Then it's going to go all the way across and have its full moon in the opposition of Leo come all the way back to the new moon in your 6th house. So a lot of energy is about to take place really fast. Okay? Your 6th house is, no, your 5th house. Sorry. Your 5th house is Virgo, where you're going to have the new moon at the end of the month coming off of that Lionsgate and full moon. Virgo, detail-oriented, anal retentive, pick it apart. Make sure that your daily routines are not getting in the way of you enjoying you. What do you have to do to make sure that you organize time for you? What do you have to do to make sure that you are organizing time, not just for you, but self-care you, creator you, fun you, loving you? This is what this new moon is trying to show you, and trying to show you how to redirect your next 6 months, because it's asking you to get deep and raw with your individuality, with your inventive nature, with showing us who you are, showing you who you are, and finding security in it to be able to enjoy this life. The 5th house is the pursuit of pleasure. It's where we meet our loved ones, where we have fun, where we play, where we have hobbies. What makes us want to be part of this life? And it's saying, can you detail orient it enough to make sure that you get time for it? And when you're getting time for it, does it support the heart and the soul? Because if it's not, then it's telling you you're doing it wrong. And that's pretty much what this whole month is going to be directing you to help you redirect yourself for the next 6 months. Now, as you get into your 7th house, the 7th house is saying you have the North Node here. And this is saying, not the North Node, the South Node. It's saying in the relationships that you've kept in your past, for all of your life in your past, it is asking you, where are these relationships of these people that you've allowed into your life? Where do these relationships continuously have the same effect over and over again, but aren't fully maturing and growing? See, the South Node is everything you're good at, but it's not good for you. And it's Scorpio here. So where is that not? Where does the relationship start? It has a good beginning, but then it fizzles out and it's not actually making it to its next cycle. It's showing you where you have to make changes about yourself and having time for yourself to be the true self. And are you allowing that also in the relationship for whoever you're with? It's asking you, these are saying you've got to get past the idea of what you've always thought the relationship should be, or how it should be categorized, how it should look. Because the South Node is saying there's something here that has to grow. Something here that has to end a cycle and start anew in order for these relationships to truly be healthy. So this is asking you to step out of your comfort zone and allow both of you to actually grow in different ways that may be uncomfortable, but allowing yourself to grow together. And are you in the same vibration and sync at that happening or not? Will make all of the difference as to if it will last or not. Now, when you get into your ninth house is asking you to, your ninth house has had Taurus, your ninth house is Capricorn, and it has had Pluto here for years. But we're on the last 2 years. And it's the 10th house for you. No, it's not. It's the 9th house, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's the 9th house. So this is saying the foundation you've always believed in. the way society has taught you that spiritually, soulfully, psychically, these things work. But see, your higher self knows. No, they don't. They don't work like that at all. There's so much more of a bigger plot here. And it's trying to help you pull yourself into this energy. Pull yourself into the bigger level of oneness, the bigger level of the higher understanding, the higher learning, the psychic energy, all the different dimensions. But you've got to break what you were taught. See, because Pluto is, though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. So this is saying there's nothing to fear by learning higher spirituality, higher psychic abilities, more depths of self, equal more depths of oneness. And he only has 2 years left to really drill this into your head. He ain't gonna be back in your lifetime. So this is definitely more of a floor falling out of believing in yourself and giving yourself the chance to truly, though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because you can't be taken from source. All right, when you get into your 11th house, that's where the new moon, where the full moon is taking place. Saturn is here. This is saying you have to address rules, walls, and boundaries. They must be shifted within your relationships so that you can actually grow. It's saying if it's not in vibration with you, if it's not in the same flow as you, then rules, walls, and boundaries must shift, must be redirected. New ideas, new chances, new ways have to happen here. Because see, it's not just the 11th house, because the 11th house is your goals, your dreams, your ambitions being brought into life. But if the people and the committees and the groups and the memberships that you're part of aren't going to allow you to grow, then they're keeping you from growing. So it's saying certain adjustments need to be made so more growth can happen. And that was actually your 10th house, but it's still the same subject. It's the outer authority. It's still speaking to the groups and the outer authority that's keeping you from growing. It's the jobs, the commitments that we have with our job, our society. So it is still coming into that same aspect. When you enter into the Pisces energy, it is still giving you that same aspect. You have to believe in you. You have to set up restriction. That's what they just said. You have to set up restriction and make sure that you are setting the proper boundaries for healthy growth in your outer world, as well as with your groups and your memberships, so that the goals, the dreams, and the ambitions of the world you're trying to create for yourself are capable. Now, the thing for you is your 12th house. Your 12th house can be very damaging for you, and it can be damaging for the next 6 months if you allow it to be. So it's important that you understand this. See, because your 12th house is Aries, and Aries right now has everybody in retrograde for the next 6 months. Aries is the brain. Aries is how the brain works, the way the brain's activity is. And it is a brand new cycle when we look at astrology, a brand new beginning point. So this is saying you have to train your brain. You have to train your brain to not hook up to that lower old identity of three-dimensional lower vibrations. And I say it that way because Eris is the goddess of strife, trouble, toil, strife. I often call her Medusa. She is in Aries in retrograde. Chiron, the wounded healer, is in Aries in retrograde. Jupiter is in retrograde. Jupiter is abundance and higher knowledge, but he can only feed you with what you feed him. And he's in your 12th house. All three of these are in retrograde, 12th house, overly analyzing in your head grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, making you question and doubt yourself, making you go, well, it'll always be that way, so fine. No, it won't. It'll always be that way if you continue to allow it to be that way. It is saying train your brain. Train your brain for the higher vibration. Train your brain for the higher healing energies. If you remember a couple months back, I kept saying I was being given Medusa, which is Eris, Trouble, Toil, and Strife. I kept being given the Amazon Prime commercial where I see Medusa and she's wearing a pair of sunglasses. And the story of Medusa is quite simply that anything you look at, Medusa looks at, turns to stone. Well, she learned how to break that magic with the sunglasses from the commercial. Break the magic. It's time to break the magic that made you doubt your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your sovereign soulfulness that makes you different from everybody else. But you have to believe in it. Then you will fill Chiron and Jupiter, the wounded healer, with healing energy, and abundance and knowledge will come in. But you have to break the magic of what the society has taught you to believe. I love you. Bye.